following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors and I'm your host. And tonight I got a very special guest, professional wrestler Channing Thomas.
Thank you for having me, Leo.
Thanks for coming on.
Super excited to be here.
And now I have the question. I know that you're called the Natural sometimes.
Yep.
Is that what you're really called now all the time?
That would be my moniker right now.
Okay, so it's no more Brofessional.
No.
Because I saw that on that wrestling cage thing there, database, whatever it's called. All right. We have a lot of fan questions, and you've done a lot of really good things, so let's get right at it.
Cool, awesome.
All right. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Saugus, Massachusetts,
Okay.
Which is a little town about 20 minutes north of Boston, right off Route 1, right next to 95 North. So I like to go up to Maine because it's just like right up there, straight shot.
Nice. All right. When did you first see pro wrestling?
My first experience with pro wrestling probably was when I was like 5, 6, 7, that
Right.
age. My childhood best friend Joey bought me wrestling toys for Christmas when I was a kid.
Because he was a fan.
Because he was a fan. So
I do that now
yeah.
for kids, for people.
So I had wrestling toys, and then we started watching wrestling, and then it just kind of exploded from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of figures?
Oh man, we used to I used to take the bus to school
Yeah.
every day. So we had our own little federation on the bus, and everyone had their own little character that was
Yep.
their person. And my person was Randy Orton because I was always a Randy Orton fan.
Good choice.
Yeah. So yeah, tons of wrestling figures.
Right.
I'm sure my mom got annoyed.
That's awesome. Should see how many I have. It's ridiculous. Were your your friends were into it. Was anybody in your family into it at all?
So my older brother,
Yeah.
was he loves wrestling too. He's a big wrestling fan. We used
How much older?
4 years. So
Okay.
I'm 22 and he's
Yeah.
26 right now.
Okay.
So we would always watch Friday Night SmackDown or Thursday Night SmackDown
Right.
and Monday Night Raw together. And then my dad and my mom were both fans when they were kids. So they kind of came back and started watching again.
nice.
My mom loved Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And my dad was a big Roddy Piper fan. So I kind of would look them up on YouTube and my
Right.
parents would tell me. So I kind of had that exposure to the old school very young.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a great story. When did you go to your first show?
My WWE or independence?
Well, we do both.
So I went to my first WWE show was at Mohegan Sun,
Okay.
which is really cool because that was the first time I did extra work for them. I did extra work for WWE in March last year, and
Oh, wow.
we had a whole security spot with
Right.
The Miz and Shane McMahon leading.
I saw that.
Yeah, Vern Vicalo was actually a part of it, and I think his he got thrown into the apron or
Yeah.
something like that, or the ring, and he made it onto the WrestleMania video package, which was really cool.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. So that was my first ever show.
Right.
Was a Tuesday night SmackDown, a SmackDown taping on
Right.
Tuesday at Mohegan Sun. And then my first ever indie show when I went when I was 17 or
Yeah.
just fresh out of high school. I went to a Chaotic show, and I think
Nice.
the main event was Brian Fury versus JT Dunn 2. It was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dijak was there still. I think Cam Zagami just came off his American Grit. Was that the TV
Yep.
show?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he just came off that TV show. It was really cool, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know, Cam is trying a new gimmick. You've seen that, right? The Club Cam thing?
Yes, Club Cam is very entertaining. It's,
Right.
It's very him.
Yeah.
So
is it really? Because I don't know him, so. Is it
Cam-
really him? Yeah.
It's really him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they say that's the best way to have a character is to be yourself just turned up to 100.
Exactly, and that's what it is. And I like Cam.
Yeah.
He can be kind of whatever sometimes, but that gimmick is definitely money for him.
Nice. All right. So now we talked about this off air, so I guess you can go through it now, but then I have a question about all this later. Who trained you?
So I was originally trained by Bo Douglas and Benny Jooks at the Bell Time Club.
Yep.
I started wrestling there June 2016, and I trained there for about 2 more years after, and then I started to go to venture off to other places.
Right.
I've wrestled down at XWA under
Yep.
Matt Taven and Vinny Marseglia. I wrestled once or twice over at New England Pro Wrestling Academy with Brian Fury, and eventually I stuck down with the Lockup Academy
Nice.
with Ryan Waters.
Yep.
And that place has kind of suited me the best. It's
Yep.
kind of like they teach the style that I want to wrestle.
Right.
And
Which is another question we're going to get
Okay.
to later. No, later.
yeah. But that I like the training down there I've really stuck with recently.
Right.
And it's helped me grow a lot. Like I feel like the person I was like a year and a half ago versus the wrestler I am now is night and day difference.
Right. Who are some of the people in your class? Let's just stick with the Bell Time Club because you said you did a little bit here.
Yeah.
We'll go the Bell Time Club and the Lockup. We'll just go with those.
So it's actually funny. The first ever class I went to at the Bell Time Club, Josh Briggs was still training there.
Really?
So he used to train with Bo and Mike Hollow.
Yep.
He would go like 4 days a week because Josh was just that type of animal that
Yeah.
he is.
Why? He needs
And,
to get, he wants to get it.
Yeah, exactly. So Josh was like one of the only guys that was training there when I
Okay.
first started going. And then I don't know if there's anyone that you might know or
Okay.
that the fans might know, but there's like a lot of people that would just kind of come and go.
In and out.
Yeah. I started with a coworker of mine, and he eventually ended up moving to Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah.
Where
so-
Josh is from.
where Josh is from. So that was like, I didn't really have like my own class. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, there was like, I was there every Tuesday and Thursday,
Right.
and then others would come. And then it wasn't until like 6 or 7 months when I was in first starting getting on shows when Alec Price started showing up.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Alec was probably like the first ever other like wrestler
Yeah.
that I kind of came up with. And
Right.
we didn't even really come up together.
Right. You were there a while
I've
before.
already been there. Yeah.
Now, when you were there, like alone, kind of in a way, was it still like were all the guys showing up there, like Big Bear and Paul Richard? I don't think it was probably down there then because he just started going up there more now, right?
Paul Richard would show up towards like the end of classes
Okay.
and just kind of hang out and
Yep.
watch and be around. Bam Shaw and
remember
Bam
Bam,
Shaw
yeah.
and Danny Miles would come and train every once in a while.
Nice.
I remember Flex
Armstrong.
Armstrong,
Yeah,
big time.
from Big Time.
Yeah. He would come around a little bit too.
Right.
But yeah, no one really like no younger people near my age
Right,
were
right.
coming around at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was mostly just me training.
Right. Now, tell us about your first match. And before you tell us, was it a battle royal?
It was not.
All right.
It was actually a tag team match.
Oh, nice.
So my first ever show was supposed to be a battle royal, and all my friends came, and I told them that I was just in the battle royal.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being in a tag team match. It was so weird. It was like Vern Vicalo and Bo Douglas were like the tag team champions at
Yeah.
the time of UFO. Pat Dillon.
Yeah.
And so they were teaming up against Mr. Wrestling 9 and 12.
I think I was at the show.
Were you?
I think so.
It was so wild. And then like Vern and Mr. Wrestling 9 like did a little thing in the ring and his mask came off and it was like Dan Terry. So then they like hugged and Bo Douglas left. So now it's Dan Terry and Vern on a team.
Right.
Vern's partner just left, but Mr. Wrestling 12 was gone, so they needed a young boy to
Yeah.
come and fill in the roles, and that was me. So that was my first match. It was so confusing and weird.
Yeah.
But it was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
But I mean, yeah, you had two friends in there, and I'm
Yeah.
sure Bo was friendly with you anyways, too.
course.
But I mean, because Bo's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known Bo for so long. He's just a great guy. All right, so we got through the getting to know you part. Now let's dive into these fan questions because we got a lot. The first one from Zane Bernardo, right? Isn't he from Insanely Rude
Yeah,
Tag Team?
yeah.
Okay. Ask more questions, Zane, please. Thoughts on Papa? Papa. Jose?
No.
okay.
So Papa Baga or Sanjay Baga,
Yeah.
he is the promoter of LDN Wrestling
Okay.
and LDN Ireland. So LDN Wrestling was the company that me, Zane, RJ Rude, and TJ Crawford all went over to.
Just recently,
Yeah,
correct?
we all went over to
Yes.
London for 10 days and we did a whole 10-day tour.
Right.
And Sanjay was our he was the promoter and he kind of he drove us to the shows
yeah.
and stuff. And we called him Papa. So thoughts on Papa? Papa can be a little bit much at sometimes,
Yeah.
but he's a fun guy. He's cool to hang around with. He's always making jokes and playing ribs and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun over there. It was a ton of work.
Right.
But it was so much fun. We wrestled usually twice a night. Would break the ring down, set the ring up, go out, get meals after together, drive home from shows, drive back. It was for 10 days. It
Yeah.
was just all like everyone.
awesome,
You know, you get it like annoyed after and
Yeah,
like
of
tensions start to
course.
boil. At one point, I was like kicked off one of the shows, but then brought back onto the shows. It was
A lot of drama.
it was just stupid drama. I love Papa. Papa is a good guy.
All right, we're gonna have to make this. You're gonna have to come back again, and we're gonna have to talk about your whole thing because I really want to know now, but I think it will take up too much time.
Oh, yeah.
But we definitely got to get you back in here. All right, Ed Hunt wants to know why is the show with Timmy Thunder, not ER either, AH, better than no show at all? There has to be a story to this.
There is no story.
No.
I don't think there is a story.
Okay.
If I'm not remember, if maybe I'm just forgetting one. But a show with Channing Thomas is a show that I want to see. I think that I don't know if he's just asking me to sell myself on why a show is better with me.
So why is it?
I focus on like good storytelling.
Yep.
I look like a pro wrestler. I look
Yes,
like
you
a
do.
professional. And that's like my goal because it's putting professional back into professional wrestling.
Nice.
So
Great answer. All right, Big Bear Matooch says, give me, this might take a while. Hopefully you read these questions earlier.
I read a few of them.
All right, good. Give me your top 5 dream opponents and your top 5 matches you already had.
What do you want me to start with?
Why don't you go already had?
All right. So my favorite match ever is
Yep.
when I won the Top Rope Interstate Championship back in March against Nico Silva.
Nice.
And he's definitely my favorite opponent. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match. We've been going back and forth.
Right.
There was a double pin on our first match, and then there was a double like knockout in our second match.
Okay.
And then our third match was a 2 out of 3 falls to settle it, and I beat him. And he was definitely one of my favorite opponents to wrestle. So
It's another great young up and coming
Oh,
kid,
yeah.
trained at the same place.
yeah, so he trains with me at the lockup.
Right.
And like the environment down there is it's crazy. It's super welcoming
Yep.
and warming, but it's guys that wanna I'm competing to just get in the ring and get
Right.
that first rep, you know?
Right.
It's guys who want to have reps and guys who want to work and have the best match that night at training or whatever. So he's definitely one of my favorite opponents to wrestle. Some others, Anthony Green.
Yep.
DL Hurst is good to wrestle. DL's always fun to wrestle.
He's killing it now,
Yeah,
too.
he is. He is. Let's see. I like wrestling Alec Price because I can just toss him around and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, it must be fun because you're stronger than him. Yeah, that's good. Yep.
Exactly. He'll get me back with something
Oh, yeah.
flippy dippy off
A
the top
knee
rope.
or a kick.
Exactly. But when you can just toss him around, it's fun. TJ Crawford is another person
Yep.
I like to wrestle. We have like similar styles.
Right.
I'm a little bit more catch than him, but
Yes.
he's a lot of fun to wrestle too. So those are probably like my top 5 just off the top of my head.
And dream opponents.
So, like, my number one dream opponent right now is actually Timothy Thatcher. I don't know if you've ever heard
yeah.
of him.
Oh, I know who Timothy Thatcher
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like this physical, brutal German
Yes.
wrestler, very catch as catch can type style. Like, I kind of someone I've always like this is the guy I would like enjoy watching when I was growing up. Just a
Right.
guy that's like a brutalizer. He's
Yes.
great.
And he knows that, like, all the moves and everything. He is
Exactly.
great.
So he's probably one of my dream opponents right
Okay.
now. Like, if I was to answer this as a kid, like Randy Orton,
Yep.
John Cena, Chris Benoit, those are like
Yep.
just dream opponents.
Great answers, though.
Exactly. Like, if I could go back in time, Owen Hart would be one of them too. Because
Right.
I love Owen. I have like a
Yeah.
super soft spot for him when I'm watching it. He's fun to watch too.
Nice. Now, Timothy Thatcher, he wrestled for Beyond. Did you ever get up and go see him wrestle when he did that?
I did. So
Nice.
I have never wrestled for Beyond, but
Okay.
I go as much as I can.
I saw you Thursday.
Yes. I try and go every Thursday.
Yep.
If I'm not working, I'm
Right.
usually there.
Alec, too.
Yep. Alec helps out with he helps out with like the IWTV people.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll help out with like Steve Ricard and the ring crew.
Right.
Because Steve threw top rope. So yeah, I actually saw him wrestle Chris Dickinson in just like a
Nice.
brutal match.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another person I wrestled, Chris Dickinson.
Yeah.
That
The
was
Dirty Daddy.
Yeah,
He hits
man.
hard.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. And I actually, I love the whole Team Pazuzu
Yeah.
group. I bought their shirt and everything. All right, this question's from me. You've been working for Top Rope for a while now,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm not mistaken, winning a few titles. I know you were a champ before when I went down to see you. Weren't you were you the heavyweight champ? Before?
No, I was never heavyweight
Tag
champion.
team champ.
Nope.
This
Just
is the first title.
interstate championships was my first.
Wow. See, now I'm getting old, man. I could have swore you had another title before that. Okay. How did you end up getting booked in the longest running indie promotion in New England? I kind of know now because we already went through some things.
Well, actually, before I even started training there,
Yeah.
they had like this taco festival show. So
Okay.
it was these 2 days, and it was in Boston City Hall Plaza. It was just this
Outside.
outside,
Yep.
bunch of tacos,
Right.
like just bunch of different like taco trucks, taco vendors, and they wanted lucha libre, they wanted professional wrestling. So
Nice.
Steve Ricard had like the connection, and I
Yep.
guess they just booked a bunch of people from the area that they haven't seen wrestle. A bunch of like
Right.
a lot of XWA students, a lot of Bell Time Club students, just
Yep.
different flavors of the people
Right.
you wouldn't typically see at like a top rope show.
Yes.
So I showed out and I impressed. And then I was kind of like booked off and on
Yep.
for the next, like the whole kind of summer of, I think that was June 2018. Yeah. So the
Okay.
summer of June 2018, I was booked on and off there. Some shows here, some shows
Right.
there. Not all of them though. And then like when I started training with Ryan more and I like my skills progressed
Right.
way faster than I anticipated, I started getting more bookings with them because they
Nice.
started to trust me more.
Yep.
They know me as like, now they know me as a person, they know me as a student,
Right.
and then they know me on top of what I can do as a wrestler now. So
Nice. Okay. I got to ask you this question before we go on with the fan questions, 'cause I don't think we really touched on it. Who you train with at the locker?
Oh, so I train with
Donovan Piper, right? Do you know who Donovan Piper
No,
is?
who's Donovan Piper?
Donovan Piper is Brett Ryan Gosling.
wait,
He'll
what?
always be. You ask him the story, he'll tell you.
Okay,
It'll take too long for me to tell
all
you. I
right,
don't wanna
I'll have to hear it.
But I told him after I met him, we left. We stayed for after the show, me and Sonny Goodspeed
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And when I went up to shake everybody's hand, I said, "You'll always be Donovan Piper to me."
I'll have to ask him.
You can ask him or Ryan, because Ryan told me the story.
So I train with under Ryan Waters and Nick Steele.
Yes.
And Spike Dudley's there at the shows, but he doesn't really do much of the training anymore.
Okay.
But he's still there. It's like an ear kind
Yep.
of. The people I'm training with is Nico Silva, Travis Gillette, Caesar Leo,
Yep.
Swilly O'Brien. So those are kind of like the guys from the top rope shows, Jason
Right.
Daniels.
Yep.
And like I said, it's like those between
yeah.
like those five guys, it's competitive. Like
Right.
you want to be the first one there to like get in the ring and work out. You want to kind of like show everyone how it's done or how you think it's done.
Right.
And you want to have the best match. Like it's a very like it's a competitive environment there, but then when we're on the shows, we're all on the same team. You know,
Right.
we're all just trying to make the show go as good as possible.
Nice. And now he doesn't train there?
Who?
Brett.
Oh,
Donovan?
Brett.
Donovan?
Yeah, I completely forgot. Brett
Yeah.
trains there too.
All
Yeah.
right. Now he's looking pretty good. I saw a match of his on YouTube the other day. He's coming along
Yeah,
pretty good.
definitely.
All right, great. I'm gonna butcher this name, and I'm very sorry. Mio Perculo. Perculo?
I think I know. I've seen the person on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for the question. And if I butchered your name, I'm sorry. Did Boogeyman's worms in your mouth freak you out? I didn't know you did this, so this is kind of cool. Or are you a natural for the next Jungle Survivor reality series? Great question.
Great question. Yeah, it was freaky as hell.
Yeah.
I there's nothing else to like really say about it.
Right.
I wrestled him for Big Time Wrestling August 23rd, I think, and I was horrified just
Right.
because it's like that's like, oh man, it's
Yeah.
the boogeyman. And he's cool dude.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up watching him. Like
Right.
that was like my peak fandom was like 2007 SmackDown.
Right.
So I know like the boogeyman. I knew all his like little things.
Yep.
And
Mannerism.
yeah, the worms did freak me out a
I
second.
think it would too. I
Yeah.
would be freaked out about it. All right, this is probably the youngest kid asking the question right now. His name is Brogan Beckman,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to know what sports you were good at as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and who was your favorite person to wrestle. You actually already mentioned that.
Yes. Favorite person to wrestle is Nico Silva.
Yes, okay.
The sports I was good at as a kid,
Yeah.
like one of my favorite sports, I've been doing it since I was in like the 4th grade, was I
Right.
loved skateboarding.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I
My
like
son's really good at it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. I love skateboarding. It kind of gave me like a lot of confidence to just
Right.
try stupid things, and if I get hurt, it happens.
Yeah.
Which is translated really well to wrestling.
Right.
Some other things I did when I was a kid was I played football. I played football all through high school.
Okay.
I swam actually.
Yep.
I don't look much like a swimmer, but I was a swimmer. I was swimming from 5th grade, and then I like stopped, and
Right.
then when I got back in high school, I joined again, and I
Nice.
was like captain of the swim team my senior year. So that was pretty cool.
Keeps you in good shape.
Exactly. I actually kind of want to get back into it because I
Right.
haven't done it in a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that's like. It's like it doesn't take too much out on the body, but
Right.
it can help the body a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, muscles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really does wonders. All right. So thanks, Brogan, for the question. Keep sending them in, buddy.
Please.
All right. Ben Carici?
Ben Kachiri.
Ben Kachiri. All right, thank you. How did you get booked for big time wrestling? I want to know this answer too. Thanks, Ben.
Like they had the shows in Lynn.
Yeah.
And that's obviously right near my house.
Right.
So I would go and help out for them. And then to get like more consistent bookings is like I went and I traveled. So
Right.
like we did South Carolina
Yep.
a few weeks ago. So I wrestled in Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium, which is
Nice.
where old Jim Crockett used to be. They actually still have the ring
Really?
too, so you can check out the ring in there. It's not put together,
Right,
but
right,
They
but
have
still,
like
that's
it's
cool.
it's cool. So yeah, just like doing the drives is
Right.
I guess is just
go
kinda
with
what I
Benny?
help 'em. Yeah, Benny. I think I can't remember who we went with the time before, but the last time it was me, Benny, one of the students, and Anthony Green driving
Oh,
down.
nice.
So that was to like Maryland to Virginia. So those were cool shows too.
Right. I think they ran in Virginia, you said, right?
Yeah.
I noticed they had run there too. All right, I got an anonymous question.
Okay.
Okay. Who have you wrestled that you feel has made you better? Is there anybody?
Oh, definitely Nico Silva.
Yeah.
Nico Silva, it's the same environment. It's just like kind of we're trying to one up each other,
Right.
but in a way that it makes the match better.
Yep.
Anthony Green, I've wrestled. He definitely helps like kind of bring you up to the next level and make
Right.
like your game. Like if your game's a B, he's gonna make you an A for the night.
Right.
So definitely those two guys are like people that stick out to me right now.
Nice. I think Anthony's gonna be huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Nico can too. Don't get me wrong. Just the mind he has.
Oh,
It's amazing.
yeah.
Honestly, for a younger guy like him, he has the mind of a 30-year veteran.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I rode down to CZW with him
Right.
a few months ago.
Yep.
And or was it? I can't remember. But like I went to his house beforehand.
Yeah.
And like the walls are just like he's like, do you want to see my secret lair, my man cave? And he brings me down to his basement, and it's just wall to wall with like wrestling figures,
Nice.
wrestling, just like wrestling merchandise,
Yeah.
just different things from
That's
like the
cool, huh?
Yeah, I like the whole like he's a collector, and he like
Yeah.
you can tell he loves wrestling.
Right.
Like you
Oh,
can just
yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And like I said, I mean, he has the mind of a guy that's been in the business longer than how old he is.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
all right. Timothy Pennick. You don't know him? So,
Nope.
Timothy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. What legend or current star are you looking to wrestle next year or in the future? An NXT or in a legend? We'll go with two of them. How's that?
Oh, well, so I guess like another one of those guys that like just brings people from like B to A, but
Yeah.
he doesn't even bring them to B to A. He brings them to B to like whatever, like the next level. AJ Styles. That would
Oh,
be
man,
he,
yeah.
he can just elevate your game to make you better. Another guy I want a shot at is Chris Dickinson.
Nice.
Like I wrestled him in June in a tag
Yep.
team match, and I want like a singles match with him just to I want to see where I'm at compared to how he is, and just I know I can hang,
Right.
but I want to prove it to everyone else that I can hang.
I know he wrestles at one spot. I know for a fact all the time. So Drew Cadero, book it.
Yeah,
come on, man.
please.
I know you'll sell some tickets. All right, Stephen Lambert, one half of the Middlesex Express,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yep.
All right. What are some of your favorite matches from your recent trip overseas?
So me and TJ Crawford
Yep.
wrestled against Insanely Rude in like
They're a good team.
yes, and this was probably my favorite match. It was like the fourth night into the trip.
Yep.
The crowd there was just super hot for like no reason, and they loved Zane Bernardo. They started
Really?
the Zane Bernardo fan club, and so me and TJ Crawford
Yep.
we went out and we just kicked the crap out of Zane Bernardo
Yep.
after his match, and then RJ Rude came out with a chair and challenged us to a tag team match at the main event. And that was probably one of my favorite like matches from England. It was just like we wrestled the night before somewhere else and the
Okay.
match wasn't as good. So we were like, all right, let's cut some of the stuff that we do like. Let's cut some of the stuff we don't like.
Right.
Focus on more of the stuff that we do like.
Yep.
And it made all the difference in the world. And the crowd loved it. So
That's
that was,
awesome.
that was probably my favorite match.
That's great. How about we got one from Howardson Davis III. When will you need proper representation? And he had a bag of money after it.
man.
I don't think he's got that much money. Howardson, come on now. Do you have that money? What do you think?
I mean, I represent myself.
Yep.
And Channing Thomas LLC is exactly what it is. It's Channing Thomas
Right.
LLC. So I represent myself. If I ever need advice, I go to Ryan Drew,
Yep.
or I'll talk to my mom or my dad or my older brother and ask them for what their thoughts are. But
Yep.
like, it's I love wrestling, and there's a lot of brotherhoods and
Right.
friendships that you make along the way, but it's also your own journey.
Yep.
So I kind of like to do things like by myself, and if I make mistakes, they're on me. and
Right.
I
No one
have
else to blame.
Exactly.
Nice. Howardson, I'm just busting your balls. You're a great guy. Jacob Dawson. We already answered it, Jacob. Nico Silva, favorite
Yeah.
opponent.
Yeah.
All right. George Rezick Jr. Did it hurt when that kid punched you in the face at Lucky Pro? Was it George that punched you?
No.
All right.
I don't know. It might have been his son if he has one.
I don't
But
think-
basically, like my first Lucky Pro show 2 or 3 years ago, when I was still doing the professional stuff.
Yeah.
Shea Kudo had me like this, no arms, can't really defend
Yeah.
myself, and like he's doing the little thing where the kids like they hit you, they
Yeah,
chop
yeah.
your chest, and one kid literally just lined up and cracked me.
How was he? Like 5?
I think he was probably like 7, and it didn't hurt.
Right.
But in your head, you're like, did I just get sucker punched by a kid?
Right. That's
And,
hilarious.
Yeah, there's like a really sweet picture. I'll have to send it to you after.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's a cool little picture with the kid's like knuckles across my face, and they all.
Definitely send me that. That's cool. All right, Steve Ricard. Is your extreme gear still available for sale?
It is available for sale. Please buy my gear.
Steve, buy it. Now, you have a question from Donovan Piper. Are you selling gear? We already know he's
Yeah.
selling gear. All right. Billy Vox. You know Billy?
Yeah, I know
All right.
Billy.
Thanks for the question, Billy, too. Thank you, other guys, for the questions, too. Goals. You already have accomplished a lot in a short time, but there must be more on the list. I'm just going to keep going. What are some of your short-term goals you have set for yourself, and what are some of your long-term goals?
So, one of my short-term, well, we'll call it short-term.
Okay.
It was supposed to kind of happen this past June, but
Right.
it kind of fizzled out because of just travel arrangements.
Yep.
But I was doing a tryout for Wrestle One, which is a company in Japan.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I believe it was Sonny Ono, who was the Great Muda,
Right.
who does the tryouts. And
Yep.
my tryout was set for a Friday, and it got moved to the next day, the Saturday,
Right.
and it just didn't work out for me because I had another booking that day in Top Rope.
And you're a professional.
Exactly. So I kind of I got my refund, but
Right.
like my like goal was to wrestle in Japan, and
Yeah.
I kind of thought I was like, I mean, not to sound like cocky, but I was super motivated, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to wrestle in Japan.
You're
so-
confident that they would book you.
Exactly.
I don't blame you. You
So-
should be confident.
So that was really kind of one of those things that just didn't happen to work out.
Right.
But just down the line, that's another goal. Like one of my short-term goals, like over the next year,
Yeah.
I want to wrestle in Japan.
Yep.
I want to wrestle in Germany for WXW.
Yes.
I want to like do like they do like a little training thing where you
Yep.
can pay a certain amount for a month and you can live out there for a month.
Right.
And I really find
train
that,
in the-
exactly. So you train 6 days a week and then you
Right.
wrestle like the shows on the Saturdays or whatever. And that was one of the things I really wanted to do. So that would be probably one of my short-term goals right now.
Yep.
Is just kind of expanding internationally.
Right.
Just, I'm young, so
Yeah.
I like to travel.
Absolutely.
and
Take
that-
advantage
exactly.
of this.
So that another one is get into Beyond Wrestling.
Yep.
I'm not really sure how the timetable works there.
Right.
But I'm just kind of like every week, every time I can go, I'll help out with the ring, I'll mingle, I'll say how,
Yep.
I'll watch some great wrestling.
Awesome. wrestling, you're right,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like, to me, that's not a hassle because I enjoy wrestling. So when
Right.
I'm going, I'm just like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna sit at home and watch this anyways. Might as well be there watching in person and helping out and get my name out there.
Nice.
So-
Now I know stupid for me to even ask, but I'm sure you bring your gear every time you go
of
anywhere.
course,
right?
of
There you go.
course.
Good. All right. I think there's a lot of parts of it. Also, what's the biggest goal you've had previously
Hmm.
set for yourself that you've been able to check off the list?
So this Sunday, I'm wrestling in Portland, Oregon, and I'm getting flown out.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited.
Yep.
That would be one of my goals, just to wrestle in different parts of the country.
Right.
Another goal, obviously, is I went to London in June and I wrestled
Yep.
10 days out there. So that was one of that check. That was one to check off too.
Yep.
And just kind of like switch training places was a goal. It's kind of
Right.
hard to leave home
Right.
in a sense.
Yeah.
But like sometimes if you want to like progress, you
Right.
got to go out different places and you got to try different things. So like those were probably my 3 biggest goals. Like
Nice.
just flying out places,
Yep.
traveling, and then like just training in different places
Right.
just to get a feel for things.
Nice. Have you trained with Mike Hollow?
I haven't yet.
No? Oh, yeah. You got to get him.
Yeah, I know.
He really is one of the best, too. All right, Dan Terry wants to know, he wanted me to bring up the Somerville match because he said it was the worst match of all time.
Yes.
Is that true?
I mean, I don't know if it's the worst match of all time. It's
But
definitely
you guys think it is.
It's definitely one of my worst matches of all time. Oh,
What
man.
happened? Just blame it on Dan.
Yeah, it was all Dan Terry's fault. Actually, it was all Dan Terry's fault. We'll just leave it at that.
All right. Timmy Kilgore, you know Timmy?
I know
Murray?
Tim.
Yep. He says, how much do you usually get when selling your gear?
This is a lot of gear questions for
And this
some
is the
reason.
first time have you ever sold any gear?
Yeah, I've
All right,
sold.
good.
I've sold gear to collectors before.
Yep.
I usually get about like $300.
Nice.
Yeah, so pretty good.
Think they'd be interested in anything I'm wearing?
Those jeans they might like.
No,
I'm-
maybe, right? I don't know, but I got to start making some money somehow.
Exactly.
All right. Alec Price, we've talked about him a little bit. Name some of the top talent in New England right now. And I don't know if he means, the like younger guys
Yeah.
or if he means guys that are about to like be gone.
I mean, we can go both.
All
like
right.
top talent, you can't say
Right.
You cannot say Christian
Right.
Casanova. He is one of. I wrestled him at Fenway this year actually, which was
Really?
really cool. Yeah, that
I
was
was there when I was doing a lot of interviews with people. I wish I would have saw that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have saw that.
yeah. So Christian, super easy
Yeah.
to work. Anthony Green, we've already mentioned. Nico Silva.
Awesome.
I like wrestling Alec.
Yep.
Just because we get along a lot.
Right.
And toss him around.
Yeah, I can throw them all over the place.
I'm just Chris Dickinson, one of those guys, but I mean, he's kind of already been around.
right.
Richard Holiday.
I'd like
yeah.
to see you wrestle him.
I mean, I wrestled him last year in
Where?
Top Rope, but
I think that might have been. I don't know if that was the show me and Sonny went to.
it was like a New Bedford hotel suite.
Yeah, no, it wasn't there.
Yeah. I wrestled him.
Yep.
I would love to have a crack at him again, honestly.
Right.
We both kind of he's obviously progressed to bigger and better things, Major League Wrestling.
Right.
And I feel like I can be at that next level, and I just kind of want to
Nice.
show that I can hang.
Right. I think he's
More
awesome.
than hang,
I
yeah.
really do. He's unbelievable in the ring.
Exactly.
Especially for being like he has. How long has he been wrestling? 6 years.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. Alec wants to know how was your training time at the Bell Time Club?
Training at the Bell Time, it was good, man.
Yep.
It was like 15, 20 minutes from my house.
Right.
Great place to get my feet wet and
Yep.
kind of just get a sense of things and
Right.
how wrestling works. I mean, I learned a lot there. I learned that wrestling wasn't as I expected it to be because, I didn't really have that independent. I didn't know a lot about the independents. I went to my
Right,
first
okay.
show when I was 17. So
Right.
the only wrestling that I knew was like WWE.
Right.
So to kind of go into this different world that's
Yeah.
this like DIY freelancer world, it was really, really shocking, but also eye-opening is a better word. But it was so cool. So yeah, I mean, Bo helped me out a lot. He helped me get my feet wet. He helped me make some connections in different places that made connections to other places.
Right.
He connected me with the person who connected me to get to Portland.
Yep.
So that was really cool. Yeah, I had fun wrestling at the Bell Time Club.
Nice. Great guys down there.
Yeah.
So you were part of a stable now, too, in 2016, the CrossFit stable.
Oh yeah.
That was with Dan Terry, Derek Andrews, Vern Vicalo, and you were Timmy Thunder then.
Yes.
How was that experience, just being with a bunch of friends? And
So that was like my first experience wrestling anywhere.
Oh,
actually.
really?
So I wrestled at Northeast Championship Wrestling.
Right.
And they just threw me into this stable because I really didn't have anything else.
Right.
There's nothing really you can give someone
yeah,
that
and
has
you were in shape, so
exactly. So I fitted the mold.
Right.
Derek actually wasn't in the stable when I was
Oh, okay.
there. But basically what it was like a frat almost. So
all right.
that's kind of where the professional stuff came
Yeah.
from too. Vern and Dan were like the pledge masters and they would just embarrass me and stuff. I would
have liked to have seen that.
it was some fun stuff.
Right.
A lot of fun stuff. It actually kind of it's weird because I wrestled Vern this past weekend at NCW. And
Right.
one of the big things that I wanted to kind of show him was that I'm not that CrossFit pledge anymore. I'm someone completely different.
Yeah.
I'm not Timmy Thunder anymore. I'm Channing Thomas.
Did you tell him that, punch him in the mouth?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Vern's a great guy. All right, so I want to make sure I don't have any more fan questions hidden anywhere because sometimes I write them on a different page and then forget. All right, listen, I talked to Ryan. You know that.
Yep.
He talked to you about it. I just thought some of these things that he, I asked him for are great. You've gone and trained at a lot of places in New England. You have trained at the Belltime Club, like we said. You did a little at Chaotic, trained with Taven, and also at Ryan Drew. Your style seems to be geared towards a more old school catch style.
Yeah.
Which can be increasingly difficult to get over in this wrestling environment. What is it about that style that appeals to you? And is there a way to give it a more modern approach? That is a great question.
Yeah, it's like a more pure style.
Yep.
It's a definitely
Billy Robinson style.
yeah, exactly, the catch as catch can,
Right.
snake pit stuff.
Yeah.
It's very hard to kind of get over because it's not as flashy.
Right.
It's not as flashy. It can sometimes look more of a fight and more of sloppiness, but I find that with the catch wrestling style is that it's different. Not a lot
Right.
of people are doing it.
Yep.
And there's so many different ways you can take it into a different area because you can, if you're like a catch wrestler, you can go into like catch submission type stuff, or you
Right.
can switch it up with the catch wrestling. And one way that I found to make it more entertaining is to kind of just bring this new level of like aggression to it.
Yep.
So there's like in catch wrestling and in wrestling in general, I wrestled for Northeastern, like club wrestling.
Okay.
For like 6 or 7 months. So they did a lot of cross faces, a lot
Right.
of whizzers stuff, like kind of brutal stuff. And
Yep.
I'm kind of like incorporating that
Nice.
into like my wrestling. A lot of the times when I pin someone, and this is something that actually I remember distinctly from Randy Orton when I was like a little kid, is he'd always put like his little blade right here, like
Yeah.
this bone, he'd rub it across the guy's
Yeah.
face, like kind of like bruise up the nose.
Yep.
And there's a lot of that in like the regular like catch wrestling too. So I'm kind of like incorporating that.
Nice.
So I'm doing like a lot of cross faces, a
Yep.
lot of like just kind of wearing people down and just tossing them around. So
Right.
it's hard to make it. It's not hard to make it entertaining.
Right.
But it's hard I feel like people don't know sometimes what they're looking at.
Yep.
I feel like sometimes they forget that this is the history of pro wrestling.
Right.
This is what it's rooted in.
Yes.
Like this is where it all came from like the carnies.
Yep.
Like the shooters, the hookers, the rippers.
Right.
Those people that would kind of like make money off like carnival goers.
Yep.
It's
Dummies.
Exactly. It's rooted in that, and I guess making it like bring it to this 2019 year
Yeah.
where there's so many flips and there's so much cool stuff going
Right.
on. I mean, I can flip, I can do the springboards,
Oh, I'm sure.
but I can't do them as well as like Will Ospreay or
Right.
someone who like
gotcha.
that. So I kind of have to make my own way, and that's how that's what I'm good at. I like
Right.
to be kind of like intense and
Yep.
aggressive and kind of like keep people down on the mat, because that's where you win the game. You win the game in the mats.
Right. And I'll tell you, like you said too, no one's doing it.
Yeah.
So you it could stand out that way
Exactly.
too. So, all right, awesome. All right. I know you work hard and are always willing to help out at the shows. I saw you this is for me. Wow. I thought it was from Ryan. I know you work hard and you're always willing to help out at the shows. As I saw you this past Thursday at Beyond Wrestling's Uncharted Territory every Thursday at the White Eagle Cafe in Worcester. There's your little plug. Do you ever get asked to pick up some names in the business and good, funny
Oh.
stories? Actually, this is part Ryan and part me.
Yeah. So, like, this is probably the first year where I've really done it.
Right.
So I'm friends with Randy Carver, who runs Limitless Wrestling
Yes.
and Let's Wrestle, and I wrestle for Let's Wrestle a lot.
Yep.
But whenever Randy needs like someone to be picked up for the Limitless show,
Right.
I live 15 minutes from the airport.
Yep.
And like I said, going to 95 is just super easy.
Right.
So I've picked up some people from him. I've picked up people for Top Rope.
Nice.
Most recently, I drove Danhausen. Have you heard of Danhausen?
Oh, yeah, I just saw him.
Yeah, I picked up Danhausen, Caleb Conley, and Fred Yehai.
Yeah.
And that was one car trip. I've also picked up Ricky Steamboat and
Nice.
the Boogeyman. I picked up Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr., British
Harry.
Bulldog Jr., and I picked up Eli Everfly, who's from California.
Yeah.
He's like a luchador type.
Yeah, yeah. I know who he is.
I don't know if there's any like super crazy stories. There really isn't.
Right.
I will say this. having the boogeyman in full face paint sitting in like the back of your car and he's just kind of talking and you forget and then you like glance at like the rear view mirror and you're like, oh my, what is that?
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so no like super crazy stories. Ricky Steamboat was super cool.
I met Ricky Steamboat and talked with him. He's a great guy.
Awesome
really
guy.
Nice.
It was actually one of the cooler things was like we had to wait 20 minutes because the boogeyman wasn't done with like his makeup, and I just picked up Ricky. So Ricky was like, "All right, let's make the best of the situation. Do you want a beer?" So at first I was like, "No, I'm all good. I kind of got to drive," but then I'm like,
"Yeah, when are you gonna get a
when
chance?
am I gonna have a chance?"
Exactly.
So I was like, "Yeah, you know what, Ricky? Yeah, I'll have a beer," and we just talked about life, man. We just talked about like he was moving at the time or getting ready to move at the time, so we kind of talked about that.
Yeah,
it made its way to like model trains somehow. I'm not really sure where the connection came, but we were just shooting it for 20 minutes or so, waiting for the boogeyman to come downstairs, just having a beer.
Pretty cool.
Me and my buddy Ricky.
No, so now I figured it out. The boogeyman tipped you by giving you worms.
Yeah,
was that the same night? That you drove him?
Not the same night.
Oh, okay.
I met him like a month ago, prior to at Big Time, and then they had me pick him and Ricky up,
right?
Because they were like in the similar area
Yep.
for the Top Rope show, Summer Showdown. So yeah,
that's pretty cool. Because like I said, I met Ricky Steamboat at an ROH show that I catered years ago, and he was just the nicest guy. Just wanted to chat. Came over to us, is like, I just want to chat with regular people, not wrestlers.
Exactly.
He was just talking to me and my girl. He was just awesome.
super nice guy.
All right, I think I got one more. How important is social media to indie wrestling, and what do you find the most difficult and frustrating part of social media? And then plug your stuff so we don't forget.
Yes. So I'll go with that part first.
Okay.
So at Chan Thomas Pro, ChanThomas PRO, at Chan Thomas Pro. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter. You can find me on Facebook at Channing Thomas. So social media is super important to pro wrestling. Like a lot of the internet recently, especially with like IWTV, Fight TV, all these streaming apps, you can watch pro wrestling. I can watch pro wrestling here. That's happening in Worcester. I can watch it. That's happening in Atlanta. I can watch it. It's happening in London. Just totally.
It's pretty cool.
It's super cool. And a lot of people, they are on social media and they're getting involved in the conversation. So one thing that I find that's super frustrating is just getting involved in that conversation, because it's just, you don't know what to like sometimes talk about.
Right.
You don't know how often to do it. I'm really bad about social media, actually. I'll admit it myself. And I think one of the things that I find frustrating is that I'm so bad at it that I see other people who I might not see as a good a wrestler as me, maybe getting better opportunities just because their social media is better than mine. And you know what? That's completely fine because part of the game is social media.
Right. Nowadays.
Because if you have traction, if you have followers on Twitter, they're going to want to go see, like, I'm not going to blast him or make fun of him, but Danhausen, look at him. He's very active social media, and a lot of people want to see him. They might not buy a ticket, but they'll stream him, they'll watch him, they'll retweet him, they'll favorite him, and people see that. And that's the stuff that probably frustrates me, is that I don't have that engagement that like he does, or like JP Warhorse. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah. Actually just came across him a week ago, probably.
I mean, they have great stuff. They make great videos online, and I can see why it's so engaging. But it's kind of like I'm staring at it and I'm seeing it and I'm trying to kind of work backwards and see what's working, what they're doing, and why is it working, and how can I kind of bring it to myself. So I'll like the most popular people for wrestling Twitter that I know are Effie, JP, and Danhausen. So what did I do? I gave them all three a follow. I put their notifications on, and I just see what they're tweeting. I see what they're tweeting, how they're interacting, and how can I make that like me. You know? So I would say that's probably the most frustrating thing, is just like getting good at social media. But
have you thought of reaching out to people that you know around here that might be pretty decent at it? Like I would think AG's pretty good at it.
He is. He used to be
You ever think of reaching? You know what I mean? I'm sure these guys would help you out.
He used to be the social media champion, right?
Well, I'll tell you, he's really good at it.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that, he really is. So that's just something to think about. I mean,
and part of that I mean, you can be really good at social media,
Right.
but part of that is just he's been around for like 8 or 10 years now. I don't even
Right.
know how long.
No, I hear what you're saying.
But he's
yeah.
been refereeing since he's like 14 now
Right.
or whatever.
And been a fan since he's like 7,
Ex-
6. I
so
mean,
he knows people.
Right.
And sometimes the content doesn't matter. It just someone will give you a like or a favorite or a retweet just because they know you.
Right, right.
So it's more, though it is frustrating,
Yeah.
it's more about just keep getting that face time. And
Right.
people will eventually like come around on you.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like a or whatever, you know.
Yeah, creep.
Exactly.
what's Rude Boy Riley?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. All right, we got time to play the name game.
Oh, perfect.
All right, so I'm just going to throw a name. You can tell a story, pass, do anything you want. I'm going to throw random names at you.
All right.
Doc Ozone.
Oh man,
You didn't expect that one, huh?
wasn't it. That was not the
Exactly.
first name that I was gonna
No.
expect. Doc Ozone, great guy,
Yep.
good vibes, peace, love, power, and positivity. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. And how about his longest client, Osiris?
I haven't had the chance to wrestle Osiris yet, but
you met him?
I've met him. Osiris is another nice guy. Haven't had the chance to wrestle him yet, but he's a nice guy. There's no real stories for that.
Okay. I seen that you wrestled him in a 6-way. Swoggle. Hornswoggle.
Oh man, another nice guy. Hornswoggle was awesome. He knew exactly what to do for that match.
Right.
He was perfect. He was like, listen, this is the goal of the match. This is what we're trying to get across. So this is how we're gonna put it together. And I was a fill-in at that time because someone couldn't make it. So it was kind of just cool to be around because that wasn't an opportunity that I didn't think I would even have.
Right.
And just to be with Swoggle hanging out and like learning from him was very cool. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I brought his name in this. How about Chuck O'Neal?
Cold Steel, Chuck O'Neal.
You've wrestled him, right?
Yeah,
I think that's who you wrestled the night that me and Sonny went. I think it was you against Chuck Steele.
Chuck. I don't know if I've wrestled.
I mean Chuck O'Neal.
I don't know
Sorry,
if
why
I've
did I say
wrestled
Chuck Steele.
It's catchy.
Because Cold Steel.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever wrestled him before, but man, let me tell you, Chuck O'Neal, that's another guy. He wrestles down at Top Rope too.
Right.
That's another guy that's just, he's always wanting you to be better than the person you are.
Yep.
And you would love him. He's very blunt.
Right.
So he'll just come up to you and he'll be like, dude, this is what you got to do. This is what I want you to do or something like
Right.
that. He's helped me. He's told me how I can make my physique better.
Yep.
He's helped Mike Gamble. He's helped so many different, he's helped a lot of people. A lot of people kind of don't like him because of how blunt he is.
Right.
But I think that's just, he's just being honest.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And I mean, he comes from an MMA training team too, so I'm sure all those, they're pretty much blunt and honest with each other, you know?
Exactly. Because you really can't there's no line to yourself when you get knocked out in a cage.
Right, exactly. All right, let's see. Brian Fury.
I don't really have any stories of
Okay.
him. I trained at his place twice. I enjoyed my time there, but it just wasn't for me.
Okay. Did you wrestle Angel Sinclair?
I have.
All right, Angel Sinclair.
Me and Angel Sinclair, I was actually her first ever singles match.
Really?
Yeah, so we wrestled at Limitless Studio Taping
Yep.
up in Orono, Maine. She's got some crazy fire, man. It's like she's just super intense and
Yep.
believable and does a sweet moonsault.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think she's got a future. She's on it too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's real. She got herself some good gear. I mean,
Yep.
she's traveling.
She's down. She was the Women's Superstars United, which is the CZW
Right.
women's brand. She was their tag team champions with Ava Everett for a little bit.
Yep.
I know that. She goes down to CZW all the time. She's at
Nice.
Beyond. Yeah, she gets after it.
That's awesome. All right, you brought her up, Ava Everett.
The Ava Taker.
Yeah.
The Ava Taker.
I like the craziness she's showing, kind of like at Beyond. I noticed it. She's like just the face of it. Seriously, I thought it was great. It adds to her
Yeah.
big time.
She's super entertaining. Ava's so nice too, but you don't want to get on her bad side.
yeah, from what I see, you definitely don't want him. All right, Mike McCarthy, the masshole.
The masshole.
Yep.
You know, the masshole is one of the like nicest guys I've ever met in my entire life. He's so considerate,
Right.
but he makes you look at things differently. So
Okay.
like if you're kind of like goofing off, he knows he's made mistakes in his life, you
Right.
know. He's done it. He's about 43 or whatever.
Yep.
He's made mistakes. So when he sees me making a mistake or he sees Alec making a
Right.
mistake, he just wants to correct it immediately. But he doesn't want to do it in like such a way that you feel bad about yourself.
Right.
A lot like we were driving up to a Let's Wrestle show a few weeks ago, and Brandino Davis was super late, like just incredibly late. And I get to Mike, I pick up them two, Alec and Brandino, and then I pick up Mike. He lives in Framingham, and then we drive up, and we're gonna be like an hour late.
Yeah.
And he just like me and Brandino and Alec were talking to the car. We're like, man, Mike's gonna be so mad at you. Mike's gonna be so mad at you, and we just don't want to deal
We're
with
blaming it on you.
And then Mike gets into the car and he just goes, Brandino, you're showing signs of being an inconsiderate person, and that's not the type of friend I want to have. Let's nip it in the butt and never talk about it again. And that was it.
Wow, that's awesome.
Exactly. And he's done things like that for me. He's
Right.
done things like that for Alec. And I'm sure he's done it for other people too. But yeah, Mike's awesome. Mike's great. I went to his wedding. It was so much fun.
Nice, because I can relate to that. I made a lot of mistakes too growing up. So like when you said that, I can totally relate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Cesar Leo.
Flex 2.0, baby.
You know, he's great shape.
Like 7% body fat. He's in incredible shape.
Yeah, he's probably the best in independent wrestling.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I could see it. Doesn't have as big as a chest as he should have. I think tag team champion Tyler Nitro might have a bigger chest than him.
Oh,
And I know that will get him a little mad,
yeah,
but
make him go to the gym.
he's another one. He's every Monday and every Tuesday, he's
Right.
down at the lockup working out
Nice.
both days. So
Yep.
he's one of those guys that really wants to get after it.
Right.
And he's one of those guys that you're trying to get in the ring before him because he wants to be the first one to do
Right.
something. You know,
He's another one that's got a lot of potential too. He really is. I've watched him on like YouTube,
yeah,
but very talented.
yeah.
All right, we already brought him up, but let's bring him up one more time. Anthony Green.
I didn't like Anthony Green when I first met him two or 3 years ago. He was, I don't know why, but I thought he was coming off as mean to me because I was like, hey, Anthony, I won a battle royal for Pat. It was my first ever show. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry if I accidentally like stiffed you guys in the whatever.
Yeah.
If I hit you a little too hard. And Anthony was like, you didn't hit me at all. And I for some reason, I was like, this guy is he's so mean. And then like my like opinion just like completely did a 180 on him.
Right.
He is like one of the coolest dudes in wrestling.
Nice.
I rode down with him to CZW. I wrestled him down at Lucky Pro. I rode down with him down with Big Time a few weeks ago. He's a fun dude to hang out with.
Right.
Great wrestler.
Yep.
Great mind for the business.
The rides down there must be like you must learn because I mean I've heard like I watch a lot of shooting interviews and you hear it all the time. So, you know, the younger guy like when they first start out there driving with veterans or whatever, they learn more in the car sometimes than they do their 8 minutes in the ring because they got that 4 hours this way, 4 hours that way.
Exactly, and that's just kind of one of those things. It's like
Right.
he's always talking about wrestling,
Yep.
watching wrestling, so he kind of knows what he knows what he's talking about.
Nice.
Yeah, AG's awesome.
Excellent. How about Ashley Box? Box.
Oh,
not Box.
Ashley's awesome. I think she might be on NWA Powers tonight, right?
Nice. Yeah,
There's
I saw her last week.
Yeah, she was on last
Yeah.
week. I know there's a women's tag team match right now on NWA Power. I don't know if she's
Is it
in it.
usually Tuesday nights?
Tuesdays at 6:05.
All right, I'll have to.
Yeah.
Where do you just find it? NWA.
YouTube.
You just
Yeah.
but I mean you have to punch in like NWA Power. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. All right.
So Ashley's awesome. Ashley's super like bubbly.
Yep.
Like just great person to be around. Incredible talent. Knows how to get the fans behind her.
And she's gonna be in the main event at next Limitless show.
Yes, she is.
Are you on that show?
I'm not.
No.
I'm down at Top Rope is doing the Kowalski Cup that night.
Yes.
So
Plug that real quick.
Kowalski Cup, Black Friday, November 29th, Brockton,
Nice.
Massachusetts, Brockton VFW. First round, me versus Swilly O'Brien,
Nice.
who I've been kind of going back and forth with the
Right.
past couple months over at Top Rope. So should be a good one.
All right. So seeing we're talking about stuff like that in Top Rope, let's go through some names there.
Perfect.
Have you run across Sydney Bacabella?
Sidney Bacabella. Sidney Bacabella is a throwback. Let me tell you. Throwback.
He is.
He's just a throwback to when wrestling was different.
Yep.
And Sidney Bacabella is great. Joe Eastman's even better. Joe Eastman kind of like he's been around forever. He knows
Right.
everyone in wrestling and he knows what to do and what not to do.
Yep.
He was one of the first people to come up to me and kind of like just be like, "Hey man, you have like something special. Like don't
Nice.
don't miss it, you know?"
Right.
He few weeks ago, he told me I should start wearing suits to shows and suits, and now I'm just trying to wear
Nice.
suits whenever I can.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He was thrown out of the studio here
Why?
by Dick, the producer. Dick will tell you after, or you can chime in now if you want. But yeah, he just threw him out. He had a big mouth that
Awesome.
day.
Yeah, I guess
All
he
right.
does.
How about Robo? He's wrestling for.
He talked about cable TV is no good.
Yeah.
Community TV.
That he heard, yeah. He said all kinds of stuff. You have to watch that interview. It was
Oh, man.
incredible. Seriously, I so hard not to laugh. The guy is so funny.
One time, just at like the merch table,
Yeah.
he was like selling. I think like Nico Silva had like these new dog tags, right?
Okay.
And he was just started selling them. And Cindy Bacabella was like to some random old woman. He was like, "Hey, the old woman bought the piece of the dog tags."
Okay.
And she was like, "This is like the second nicest piece of jewelry I own." And then just Cindy Bacabella just out of nowhere goes, "Oh, behind that Walmart ring you got there on your finger or something like that."
Oh,
yeah, man.
He is funny, though.
He's quick-witted.
Did you hear about the MJF one? He was at like a fan fest or whatever.
Yeah.
And a little kid comes up in a wheelchair and he says, the kid's like, hi. He says, "Hey, I'm clearly doing better than you." He stands up and starts walking around. Oh, what a
Man.
heel. Yeah,
Yeah.
the parents obviously, he probably was able to read it before
Yeah,
he
of
did it,
course.
But all right, let's get a couple more names in here. Travis Gillette, another outstanding young wrestler.
Yes, outstanding, great shape, great look. He's super hungry. He could be something in like 2 or 3 years if he just
I agree.
keeps going hard at
Yeah.
it. He could be something special. We could be talking about Travis Gillette from 20 years from now. You know
No
what I'm saying?
doubt. His dad was really good,
Yeah.
and he's got the more. I mean, honestly, he's got. Wow.
I saw
Sky's the limit. I always say that to you young
Yeah.
guys, right? But it's true.
With him, it's true. I actually saw Jay Gillette wrestle Donnie Rotten at a top rope show
Yep.
in June, and like it was Millbury, Massachusetts. It was a little wet. It was outside, and you would think that it's WrestleMania. These
Right.
guys, it was honestly like inspiring because it was like there weren't that many people in the
Yep.
crowd. It was raining, and you could have easily mailed it in and
Yeah.
had like an awful match. And these
Right.
guys were like, "No, we're gonna go for it, and we're gonna show
Nice.
everyone how it's done." It was awesome.
I got to hang out with Donnie Rotten a couple weeks ago at the Beyond
Donnie
show. I
Rotten,
love Donnie. He's
Donnie Rotten's
awesome.
the man. He's the man.
Looks like he just got off the stage with Slaughter.
it's
or
awesome.
Cinderella.
Exactly. Like he's another guy that's just a throwback
Right.
to like the good old days, so to say. Donnie Rotten's the man.
Nice. Shannon, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on. It goes by really
Leo,
fast, you know.
Honestly, this was like 5 minutes long.
It's unreal. We'll definitely get you back in again. Let me know what you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We won't put you on the list.
Yeah, awesome. I'll be messaging you. Have
All
a good
right.
one, guys.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.